Alright, so my driving extravaganza has lasted about an hour and a half, maybe. It was the entire in-game day and a little bit of night, so probably an hour and 15 minutes. You see, the moon's over there. Our bases are like 35,000 kilometers away. I mean, 35,000 meters away. 35,000 kilometers would be like out in space, but we've got a lovely view of the alien planet and Mars and the moon over there as well. Um, I'm going to wait at this point until the morning. We're just going to imagine that we're camping out here, I guess, for the night. I did go ahead and take off the axles for those wheels, so I will probably end up at some point. I do like this rover, but I'm thinking about jacking it up a little bit and putting the 5x5 wheels on. And so that will change the axle configuration. I do need to finish the rear end of it a little bit, I guess, still too, but and get the connector on. But I'm just gonna let my game run for a little while. I'll go do some stuff, watch some YouTube videos probably, see what the situation with the sun is like here. This is a pretty nice flat area where I'm thinking about kind of building a base because I like the view. I just need to check out the sun situation. We have gone pretty far. I don't know exactly how big the circumference of these planets is, but we've gone pretty damn far. The rover undercarriage doesn't really look like it's taken any damage. Everything looks like it's in pretty good shape. I touched up like one or two broken, well, not broken, but dented panels, but um, the rover's handling really nice. Once we got out of that area that we crashed in, it's actually been really pretty fun to drive, to be honest. I might actually work on putting a connector on it. I think we have all the stuff we need. Like I don't really have anything else to do right now while I'm waiting for the sun to rise. So I will probably do a little bit of touch-up work on it out here. Still have not found any uranium in any of the rocks that we drove by. I was really hoping that one of the random boulders that's out on the surface would have some uranium. It looks like possibly one or two of them out there on the horizon. It's kind of a pain to drive to them. I might build a little scout rover or something at some point, but I think I like this area quite a bit. It's better roving territory. We can get some mines going out here, possibly somewhere if we can find a good location. Like I said, I like the view of the planets. I think that's. I mean, look at that. That is what space engineering is all about. We got our rover sitting here, drove all the way out here, got planets. Someday we will touch the surface of every single one of them. That's one of my goals for this series. We're going to land on the moon, on Mars, its moon, and whatever the hell the alien planet is. And it's, I think it only has one moon. I kind of thought one of these had two moons, but apparently not. So, like I said, I think I'm just gonna tinker around with the rover a little bit. If necessary, I might head down that way and try to get on the other side of this mountain ridge. But I'm feeling pretty good about this location. But I do want to feel it out and see what it's like. So, yeah, I'll be back. All right, so we have a nice little sunset going here. I think the sun is gonna track and go behind the planets. Is that how it works? I don't know. I'm going to pay some attention to what the sun's doing. I'm also going to move the rover over here just to, because I'm kind of thinking about building up there, but I want to see what the actual sunlight's going to be like. I did do a little bit of work on the rover, just on the back side pretty much. Nothing too fancy, but it's the right hand side is done. The left hand side is still a work in progress. I don't know. I gotta think it through. It looks a little chunky, but maybe I'll add some more of that, like ribbing on the back. I don't know, but it's not important. I'm gonna leave those blocks on the back there too, because those are kind of my scaffolding as I'm working. So let's go ahead and get this thing turned around. Getting like overconfident probably in my roving abilities. So we're either going to build on that on the left, what we just drove by there. Let's go check out what this rock is while we're over here too. Do I have the ore scanner on still? I turned some of the stuff off at night. Ore detector is still on. Okay. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll have a lovely supply of uranium right near the base. That would be amazing. I should probably check what that is over there with a hand drill or something. I don't really feel like driving the rover up there. If we end up camping out here, of course, living here, obviously, I'll figure that out. What are you? Silicon. Damn it. I don't... Oh, God. Yeah, I am getting overconfident in my roving abilities. Alright, so let's just stop for 1 second, take a look at what the sun's doing. Alright, so we got full sunshine. It's probably mostly going to go up above that. That's probably not that bad. It's definitely a lot better than where we were. It's still not perfect, I'm sure, but I kind of touched up the side there. Added, where the wheels were, I added a couple more pieces of the metal reinforcement ribbing looking stuff too, just because I like things to have like a kind of structural look to them, I guess. The top of the rover's kind of boring, but I did go ahead and enclose the top over those reactors too while I was waiting. Even though the reactors are out of juice now, we are solely on solar power now. So it goes between like 9 days and 9 hours of power, as you see there. I don't really know what's up with that. I'm hoping I can park this at somewhat of a good angle for the sun. Oh, there's nickel. I run into nickel everywhere. I mean, I understand nickel's a common thing, but iron is pretty damn common too. And, you know, obviously silica is extremely common. Like, I think most of the Earth is actually made of silica. But, it's pretty annoying. At least we'll have, like, infinite solar abilities. But definitely build as many solar panels as you want. Alright, this seems pretty darn promising up here, doesn't it? I mean, it's not at the top of this mountain, but at the same time, it is right near a little cliff. If this the rover will stop, we'll get out and look. Kind of worried. It seems to be wanting to go towards the downhill, which always scares me. Let's go ahead and see if we can get it at a better angle so it doesn't want to roll. Maybe it's gonna stop. I mean, it's kind of rolling uphill somehow. Kind of peculiar. There we go. Alright, so what are we looking at? Come up here real quick. Big old flat plateau-y thing. Yeah, I mean, this seems decent enough. We probably want to build some turrets, even though I don't have the Cyberhounds on this. I do have the spider things, but the Cyberhounds just seem stupid to me. I don't like them. Yeah, there's like a nice little road that comes to here, so we'd be able to go off-roving that way. We could probably make it down there safely to go look for resources. This seems like a pretty nice place up here. Get started with like a landing platform out here. That sun does seem to actually miss the peak of that mountain, so we'll get decent exposure to sun here. And we have like a nice little marker that we can remember is just in between there is where the sun rises from. So if we aim our solar panels like pretty much at Mars, then we'll get the best exposure all day long. Where am I even? Okay. Just want to make sure I'm keeping track of which direction the rover's on because I turned its antenna off to conserve power. What we got going over here? That's where I came from? Kind of, yes. Alright, so I think I settled upon this particular place right here. Because we can build a landing platform right there. Build the main, like, tower here. Some living quarters and stuff off that way. Got a reasonable view of everything around us here. So, assuming we find a safe place to park the rover, let's go ahead first of all and just call this... This is going to be... We'll change home base to... former. And then we'll add a new one that is home base. Home bad. Alright, awesome sauce. That's marked there, so I'll actually be able to find it. The rover should be just chilling over here somewhere. And what I'm going to do is the priority is going to be to get some solar panels online, a cargo container so we can offload all the cargo over here. Because I'm going to have to drive all the way back over there, which is going to take a couple hours again. It took me probably an hour and a half to get here. I'm not going to be able to go back the same way I came because I didn't set waypoints or anything. So it's pretty much just a matter of winging it. And break off. Did I really not change the name of that? I thought I changed the name of that. I guess I didn't save the name change. I want to be in third person here because I'm terrified of driving off the cliff, pretty much. I want to be close enough that I can reach the connector, but far enough away that I don't kill the rover, because that's a long walk back if we have to do that. It's a long enough drive. It's a really long walk. Alright, this seems relatively flat, right? You good, rover? You good. Alright, so I am going to just start building, like I said, just a little solar farm array somewhere here. I'm going to build a little power station room. It will probably end up having a reactor in it at some point. The reactor should probably just be in the basement. So maybe I'll just build a platform with some solar panels on it just to be as simple as possible. Alright, since this hillside's kind of nice, I'm going to build a pretty big solar array here. I'm probably going to build another one down there, maybe even future ones. It's going to be just a solar farm here. They get up to 4 bars even without being rotated. I want them on those because they will look better on the rotors. I think I'm going to go 3 on each side and probably 1 down and 2 up. Maybe just 1 and 1. So that would be 9 plus 8, 18 per thing. I still have this temporary scaffolding up too, but basically I'm going to build them to look like that. I don't know, I think it looks kind of neat. Like I said, I'll probably build another one like over here so it's out of the way, and maybe another one over there. And I don't have enough stuff to complete that solar array. The assembler ran out of power back at the ship, but we have 4 solar panels that are working on our home base, former home base over there, so we can get the materials for that hopefully next time. I'm going to build an actual powerhouse like off of this, so this is going to come out this way, and I think we'll have a structure set back just a little ways. Maybe offset it even. Yeah, because then maybe I could do like, have to measure it out, because that takes up an enormous amount of room. But just build a little structure here that connects to on a grid, so that we have some batteries and stuff and storage there. I'm pretty pleased with this. I think I'm going to try to slap some sort of connector on here right away. What's the level look like? Let's go ahead and hop in here. Okay, can't see what I'm doing when I'm in that view. Why is my ship fuel so bad all of a sudden?
Ship fuel critical.
Easy does it. Yeah. Oh god. It's gonna roll away, isn't it? Why is my ship fuel so terrible all of a sudden?
Ship fuel critical.
I have did I set the did I turn off the batteries or something?
Fuel critical.
I sure didn't. We have battery power. I can clearly see that the battery has power. Why are we having these oh god, it's rolling away. Oh, it's working now. Let's just park it. I don't know why it wants to roll.
Ship fuel critical.
This is weird. I mean, that battery, all the batteries on that side have power.
Fuel critical.
Batteries. Boom. Set them to discharge. Is that better now? Kind of, maybe? Rover, you better not fail me when I'm like a bajillion miles away from home here. If this rover rolls down the cliff, it will be the worst thing that could possibly ever happen to anyone. So what I'm going to do is probably prioritize that connector, because we can, like right now, that solar energy that's those panels are collecting is just getting completely wasted. It's really hard to say. Let's just pull this. First of all, just for the sake of argument, let's go ahead and slap a block there, just so we get an idea of what the alignment will be like. It doesn't have to be that great of an alignment, but it does need to kind of work. And I keep hitting the wrong buttons for everything because I don't know why. Just ease up. We don't need to be crashing. In fact, this is probably a case where I want to do this view. Although it's really hard to tell. Oh, God. We're just sliding into that whether we want to or not, apparently. We'll hit it nice and easy, though. And it will stop the rover from moving. There. Okay. Well, that at least saves the rover, I believe, from moving, because it ain't moving that station block. What's the alignment look like on that? That looks like it would probably dock well enough, at least. So we could charge it. Let's go ahead and... I'm so scared of backing this thing up now. What do we need to build that connector, first of all? We need a bunch of steel plate. I can't do it all in one go anyway. So let's go ahead and just grab all the steel plates I can find. I have billions. Actually, I should put one back because we're going to grind down that block and it's going to cause issues. I'm scared to move the rover now. Why did you function so well, rover? Now you've just been broken. Alright. Ease her off. Stop, stop, stop. Hopefully if it rolls towards the station now. I thought I dropped that so I could pick that up, but apparently there was more in that than I knew. Oh, let's just do that so we can pick this up so we can actually place the stupid thing. And I keep hitting the wrong buttons for everything, like I said. Now, we should probably actually put the cargo container there, too. In fact... See, why could I... That doesn't even make sense. I don't know what just happened. Things are screwy. Go figure. Things are screwy in Space Engineers. I don't know how many of these we need, so we'll just grab a bunch. Go back to cargo. It's a small cargo container. Just jam that mamma jamma there. Alright, so I'm going to get this thing constructed and we'll try to dock in a minute. Alright, so I worked through the night. I ended up actually reorienting this very slightly because the sun actually kind of rises and goes like that. And so this gives us pretty much the maximum exposure. It's not actually, from what I've seen, strictly necessary to have these on rotors, but I do like how they look better on rotors. Another thing I did is I did go into Creative and I fixed my ship that was back at the home base that was docked but like fallen over because it ended up exploding. And usually I wouldn't fix something like that, but it's a glitch in the game, not something that went wrong because of me. So I just fixed it because Space Engineer is glitchy enough still that I don't mind doing that. This rover is trying to roll away right now too. That's wonderful. Mine down here, the ice is really thick. It's like meters and meters. I'm gonna start putting batteries down here. It looks like saying 8 days, but that's with like the indirect sun. This will probably be charged by the time we make it back here. I completely emptied out the rover. Another thing I did do in Creative was I actually crashed a couple more ships kind of randomly. I just kind of spawned them in the atmosphere and like just on the edge of gravity and let them fall. I'm not actually even sure exactly. I think there's like one over that way and one over towards the moon over there. They're both pretty far away. I can't scan them with the ship here. I need like a large antenna in order to detect them. They're far enough away, I'm pretty sure. I just wanted to have a little more salvage. I like doing salvage and stuff like that, and if we discover those, it will be fun. Please stop. So I am going to, since it's now morning, drive this thing back to base. I should check my suspension settings real quick here before we go, because I was messing around with them a little bit. Oh, what do we got? Suspension travel. Let's leave the suspension travel like actually pretty much all the way up. The height offset is good. Let's turn the strength down to like 15 and dampening up to like 60 maybe. And we probably turn the power down since we don't have a bunch of weight with us. Alright, so I am going to have, let's make sure the ore detector and the antenna are on. Because on the way back, I want to scan rocks. If we run into any uranium, I really need it, and so I will attempt to gather it. Not really sure the best pathway back. Like I said, I'm going to kind of have to wing it, I think. And I am not going to... I'll keep recording just in case something interesting or crazy happens, but I'm not going to include this because it takes about the entire day and a little tiny bit of after sunset for me to get out here. So I imagine it's going to take a pretty similar amount of time for me to get back. There's an ice field out there where it's really flat, and I actually go like 100 kilometers an hour over that. And that if we find that ice field, which I think is right next to this mountain that's on the right here, we'll have a pretty, that cuts quite a bit of time off of the trip. But a lot of this is going to, I mean, I kind of vaguely know the terrain now because I've done this once, but a lot of this is going to be kind of just seat of my pants still because there's no roads. I try to stick to these icy things because they actually are almost as good as roads for the most part, but yeah, we'll see what happens with that. So anyway, I am on my way home. See you when we get there. Thanks for watching. See you next time.